Okay, ab rolls. Ab rolls are probably one of the best core exercises to do and also one of the hardest. There's a little bit of a trick to doing an ab roll. So if you've never seen one before, you know it looks like this. So you're going all the way up and then rolling the bar all the way back in. You might have seen like those ab wheels that they sell at Target or something like that. I use just a bar, a weight bar so it could roll. So you can use something like that, or you can use that ab wheel if they have it at the gym. I like these a little bit better because I can keep my arms out a little bit wider, okay? But when you go into an ab roll, and I've explained this so many times in so many core exercises, the pelvic bone is like a zipper up to your belly button, and you want that part, so where that is, you want that to stay as closed and as tight and as engaged as possible. So when you go into your ab roll, okay, we're in position and we're here, okay, close that pelvic bone, get it to come in really tight so you feel this part engaged, okay? I tell a lot of women, it's like, because I had a C-section, okay, my daughter was 9.5 pounds pretty much, and I had a C-section, and it reminds me of exactly where that scar is, okay? That's where I'm taking that muscle and I'm pulling it into my belly button, okay? So I'm going to get into position, I feel that part engaged, and I'm going to go forward. Many people can only go this far. When you're in this position, what you want to feel, okay, you want to make sure, okay, that your low back doesn't do this. If your low back does this, your core isn't working. Okay, you're not even feeling it. All you're feeling is your low back. Okay, so what you have to do is get that, again, to close. Okay, so watch the difference. Here, core lets go. Here, core is engaged. So you want to feel like there's a string pulling your back up to the ceiling, okay, that's drawing you up. You never want to let your low back dip during ab rolls. Okay, so then we go out a little bit, go let's say maybe halfway. You're going to hold, make sure the core is closed, make sure you're not dipped, okay? You want to make sure that it's closed, okay, and keep it in that position, okay? Then we're going to roll out again, okay? And when you roll back, in order to roll back, you got to think of your core like an accordion, that you're closing this part in order to pull yourself back, okay? So we're not pulling back through our arms, we're not pulling back through our legs, okay? We're here. Now we're going to close the core, tighten, 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 like an accordion, okay? Then we're going to roll out a little bit further. Tighten, 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 tighten through the core, okay? Until you can go all the way, okay? And in order to come back, okay, what you're tightening is you're closing the core muscle, so you're making this C curve, okay? You're closing it as much as you can, bringing your rib cage as close to your hip bone, that zipper in your pelvic bone as close to your belly button as possible, and you're keeping that part closed, okay? And then you try to do, like as many as you possibly can in a row, okay? Get a little bit of momentum. Come up to the top, squeeze the core all the way up, okay? And you do your sets and reps with those for your ab rolls. Okay, this is my all-time favorite core circuit. These exercises, I use a group of exercises in a row, and in the beginning we only use maybe 10 reps of each exercise. Okay, so we're going to go through each exercise before we actually go through the circuit. Okay, so each exercise, the first one are core circles. Okay, so we're going to keep our feet, our legs semi-bent. Okay. You can keep your hands behind your head, okay? You want to make sure, okay, that we're here and we're pushing the rib cage down and we're getting the hip bone as close to the rib cage as possible. We're pulling that zipper closed from the pelvic bone to the belly button and keeping our hips tilted back so all of this, okay, the whole core is engaged at the same time.
Okay, we're going to make an upper circle. Okay, so you think that your rib cage is what should be feeling like it's moving. If you're moving your rib cage, so you shouldn't be using your head at all. Head should not be moving at all. Neck should not be moving. It's all in the rib cage, so the rib cage is moving. So we're going to go to the right, okay, and then core circles also go to the left. And as much as you can, push that rib cage down towards your hip bone, okay? So that's part of the core exercise that we're going to do, our core circles, okay? The other one that we're going to do, all right, is we're just going to do straight forward crunches. So now that we know how that feels, remember hip bones tilted back, okay? A zipper from the pelvic bone to the belly button, rib cage pushed as far down as we can get it until we feel like this is so tiny. The space between our rib cage and our hip bone is so tiny. Okay, then we're here. We're going to crunch to the front. Okay, only open up halfway. Okay, as many as we can. So don't open all the way back up here because you can see now my whole core is released. Okay, we want to keep it a tiny motion, small, small, and use a stopping point on the way back. So we stop, 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 stop. On that stopping point, you want to make sure your core is as contracted as it can be. Okay, make it so tight so you're never releasing those core muscles. So the first one we had were the core circles, then the next one we had were the crunches. Now we're going to do reverse crunches. Okay, I like to keep my head up on reverse crunches because I like to keep my rib cage pushed down. Some people do them here and they put their hands underneath. I guess in the beginning that's okay, but I still think it tends to leave the core open. So I'm going to come up, put my rib cage as closed as I can. Here, lower down, back up. Okay? As you pull your legs up towards you, remember the pelvic bone pulls towards the belly button. So it's like, again, that zipper working. So you're purposely taking here in that position, okay? And you're encouraging the pelvic bone to fold up towards your belly button, okay? And you keep that motion going, okay? Those are your reverse crunches. Okay, then the next one we're going to add to that are one leg teasers. So if we're laying flat, one hand behind the head, okay, rib cage pushed down so there's no space underneath your back into the mat. I should not be able to slide my hand underneath. If you can slide your hand underneath, your core is not engaged. So you want to make sure that your spine, your whole spine, is touching the mat. Now my right hand is going to reach towards my left leg. So I'm going to come up, back down. Okay? I keep my hand on top of my core so I can make sure that I feel that my rib cage is closing, okay, towards the lower part of my core. Then we do the same thing on the other side. Okay? After that, the other one that we're going to do are oblique twists. Okay? So for an oblique twist, again, close here. Keep it closed. Don't let it stay open. Keep it closed. Okay? Pelvic bone is closed to one side, to the other side. When you do an oblique twist, you want to make sure, okay, that the side that you're turning towards, if you're turning this way, that you feel this oblique engaged, so it should close. When you go to this side, you should feel this oblique close, so it should engage, it should close. A lot of times you'll see people do oblique twists like this. Okay? Their arms are doing a lot of work, but their obliques are doing nothing. Okay? So you're here, close the core, one direction, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So you have your oblique twists, okay? So make sure, and I keep the weight pretty far away from me. I don't hold it close. I keep it far away. So I'm going all the way to the left, all the way to the right. Then after that, you're going to add your ab rolls, okay? So that position. Get as low as you can go.
Okay, so now let's put all those exercises together into one sequence. Okay, so first we're going to start with the core circles. Okay, so we're going to go
10 times to the right. Okay, making sure that you're feeling your core, okay, moving, your rib cage moving, okay, 10 times. And then you're going to go 10 times to the left. Okay, keep it tight, keep the center tight, don't open up too much. Okay, make sure the circle stays nice and tiny. Okay. Now we're going to do 20 crunches to the front, nice and tiny. Pushing the core down, keeping the pelvic bone engaged. Now we're going to go right into reverse crunches. We're going to do 10 of those. Make sure the spine is in contact with the mat at all times. No part of your spine should be leaving. Now we're going to go into one leg teasers. We'll do 8, okay, on each side. Now, other side. Now we're going to go into our oblique twists. Right and left is 1. We'll do 10. Actually, I'd like to do 20, but you get the idea. Then, I'm going to go into 10 averals right after that. Okay, starting from here, as low as you can get. Closing your core on the way up. Two more. Last one. So you would say that's about 1 set. I would do that probably 2 to 3 more times total, okay, that whole sequence. And then as you get used to that, then all you have to do is for each exercise within that sequence, up the reps. Okay, so we did 10 core circles, you would do maybe 15. We did 20 crunches, you would do maybe 30. Okay, we did 8 one-leg teasers, you might do 12 or 15. Okay, keep upping the sequence, try to extend it as long as you can. Try to not take breaks in between. Okay, this is a great finisher to most exercises. So when you're done doing your weight training, you can do this. Sometimes I even use it in the beginning of my program just to get my core to be nice and engaged.